Most entrepreneurs don't fail, they stall. They hit a ceiling, they get stuck in the same loops. They wonder why working harder isn't working for them. But the top 1%, well, they just think differently. And in this video, I want to break down how elite entrepreneurs unlock the next level, not by doing more, but by doing things differently and by seeing different. So if you feel like you've plateaued, this video will show you how to break through. Somebody asked me once, I was describing a number of the companies I've worked with that have scaled and grown from 20 million to 50 million or from 50 to 80 or whatever the numbers were. Kind of the question a lot of people would have, why doesn't everyone do that? And they just asked me, well, what did they do? What's different about them? And the main answer to that question that I would say is they just chose it. They chose to scale. They chose to grow. And most everyone else doesn't. And they didn't just choose it in the sense of, oh, I wish we were bigger. I wish we were making more money. I wish we were, building our empire, dominating our market, all these kinds of things that people like to say when they get excited. No, they were very specific. And this is what I want to describe for you, is for you to be specific about what you're trying to build and what you want to accomplish, and then choose, in other words, take action to get there. What I find for leaders who successfully scale their companies, where they double and triple their revenues, expand their margins, and I think most importantly, free up their time and their energy to spend it with, the people that they care about and doing the things that they're passionate about. They are consistent in being specific about, this is what I'm trying to build. A company that has this kind of revenue, that provides this kind of service or product in this way for our customers, has this kind of experience for our employees, and we are known for these kinds of things. However they describe it, they're specific. And the value of that, there's a lot of value in it, but two of the main values in it is, one, is it gives you something to reverse engineer. If you know specifically, if you're a $20 million company and you want to be a $50 million company, $50 million gives you something, a very specific number to reverse engineer. To just say, oh, I wish we were doing more, or we were making more money, or I wish we were doing better, or I wish we had more clients, that's this kind of ambiguous, vague number. And it's harder to reverse engineer that. It's harder to build a plan. It's harder to understand how to staff for that. It's harder to understand how to build a business development strategy for that, and so on. And so being specific about what you want to accomplish is really important and useful. The other thing that it does for you is it provides a common, clear direction for your team, so everybody can run together without having to constantly be told, this is the direction that we're moving in. So the question for that is, have you made a clear, public, unambiguous statement about what you're trying to build? And if you haven't, define it and then do that. The second thing you want to do is measure success, or define what success looks like. So you've created your vision, you have an idea of what you're trying to build. You want to be very specific about what success looks like for you and what it looks like for your team. The benefit of this is the more specific you get, the better understanding you'll have about what it's going to take to get there. Now, it's possible that you create a vision and you'll realize as you're working on it, like, oh my goodness, maybe it's a little bigger than we thought. Now, that may make you excited and to really decide to rally and get there. Or maybe you decide, well, maybe we'll just back off a little bit. Like, we still want to grow, but maybe quadrupling in the next 2 years is a lot. Maybe we'll focus on doubling. We think we can manage that. That's legitimate. That's fine. That's still scaling. It's just scaling in a way that has rationale behind it, that's different than just picking a raw number out of the air and saying, this is the number we want to do because it just seems good. Instead, say, hey, this is what we want to accomplish, reverse engineer it, and then apply metrics to it, because then you can start to define, can we actually get there? And then, importantly, as you pursue it, you have some way of tracking progress towards scaling, because scaling doesn't always look linear, surprisingly to a lot of people, but you can end up on a lot of little detours trying to scale, because you're finding that there's aspects of your company that need to get untangled or sorted out or built that weren't there before. And so sometimes it's helpful to have very clear metrics. Additionally, as you build a team and as you pull people around you to help you scale, having metrics in place allows everyone to understand what they're supposed to accomplish, and it's a clearer way for you to communicate and track and monitor your expectations. The third thing, this is without exception, this always is in place. I've never seen a scaling company that doesn't do this, and that is to relentlessly execute. My friend and mentor, Craig Ballantyne, has a saying, he signs all his emails with this: success loves speed. And it's the same concept. I think there's another saying, I don't know where it comes from, but that you should have a bias towards action. These concepts are critical for your success if you want to scale. One of the greatest handicaps for leaders, especially, frankly, very, very smart leaders, is they'll tend to overthink the steps that it needs to take. And they'll go back to the drawing board and keep going back, trying to refine the plan, trying to rework the spreadsheets, trying to redo the pro forma until they get it so that something inside of them feels okay. And it doesn't actually get them there. No plan, I believe in planning, but no plan executes itself. You have to do that. You have to get out there and take relentless, consistent, over and over again action to actually accomplish what you want to accomplish. So if this is hitting something real for you, you are not alone. Most entrepreneurs stall because they're stuck playing the wrong game. They're trying to play a $10 million business game when they're running a $50 million company. So if you want more clarity on how to scale without burning out, hit subscribe, because these breakdowns are built for founders or leaders who know they're meant for more and they actually want to get there. The fourth thing that you're going to need if you want to scale is you're going to need good people. And specifically, you're going to need a leadership team. Many companies try to scale without actually building a leadership team, or they build their leadership team too late. And what it does is, well, basically the two primary bottlenecks for scaling is not usually opportunity, believe it or not. The two primary bottlenecks for scaling is usually not having the leadership or management you need in place when you need them, or not having the technically trained staff that you need in place when you need them. And so what you want to be able to do, and this is the other benefit of being able to look down the road and say, this is what we want to build. These are the metrics that we're going to use to track success, reverse engineer that. You can start to see, when will we need a management team or these different functions filled by senior level people, and at what time? And about how long will it take to find them? About how long will it take to get them up to speed? When should we start looking for them? These are all important questions, because if you have an opportunity to scale and this is your year, you've been putting yourself out there, you've been promoting yourself, and now you've got an opportunity to really grow and make it happen, and you don't have the managers or leadership in place to actually guide it and protect it so the wheels don't come off, you're not going to do it, or the wheels will come off. And so what you need to do is to forecast out, when are we going to need these people, and start putting them in ahead of time. For most founders, for most entrepreneurs, this is spooky. For years, it's 2025 right now, so up until, I would say, just before COVID, before 2020, most of the time people would hire people as you needed them. But due to changes in demographics and in the hiring market, that's usually not possible anymore. So now it's very critical in most industries that you forecast when you're going to need these key positions filled, and fill them in advance so that they're ready to go when you need them, because it is unlikely that you will be able to find them when you need them if you wait until the last minute. And then 5, the last thing is you want to systematize to scale. You want to build your playbook. And what happens here is, as you're growing, you're onboarding more and more people. You're having to teach people the same thing over and over again. Not only does that take time, but it's not that much fun most of the time. Also, what happens as you grow and scale, people may be working in different locations. They may not be working under your direct oversight or supervision. They may be working under new management who themselves are trying to figure out how this organization works and how the business is done. And if you have a playbook, if everybody understands the rules to the game, if everybody understands that we close sales this way, this is how we write invoices, this is how we deal with customer complaints, this is how we, whatever the things are, and it's written down and everyone is trained to do the same thing, then what you have is consistency and clarity across the company. Now, writing these is not anybody's usually idea of a good time. I get that. But what people love is when the rules are written down so everybody understands how to play. right? Nobody likes playing a game of Monopoly when there's one person in the game who keeps making up house rules and nobody knows what they are. And those house rules never feel like they're to everyone else's advantage. And so it's kind of the same idea. When you come into a company and nobody really knows the rules to the game, but the leader or the owner, and they kind of keep letting you know new rules at the last minute, it creates a certain level of anxiety and frustration. So what you want to do is make sure that the rules are written so everybody can play together, understand how the game works, and really pull together well. So if you're feeling the plateau, you're closer to the breakthrough than you think. It's really not about working harder. It's about shifting how you think and how you lead. But once you start growing fast again, there's a new risk. That's internal conflict. And that's why your next step is watching how great leaders prevent workplace conflict before it starts. It's linked right there on the screen. Click it now and keep scaling without the sabotage.